What's up, amigos? So in this video I wanted to go over the 4 main endgame features that we will be doing in Diablo 4. All of this information is taken from multiple Q&As already confirmed through Blizzard sources, but as always, since they are older, they are subject to change. So starting off with the first one, the Whispers of the Dead. Whispers of the Dead, or the Tree of Whispers, will be your traditional endgame daily bounty system, where you can take missions and turn in for legendary gear, extra XP, crafting materials, and more. Joe Shelley said the Tree of Whispers sends you on missions all around the world. These will show up on the map and you can complete these whispers for additional reward. We don't know for sure what these missions or bounties entail, but we can take some pretty well-educated guesses like go here and complete this breadcrumb quest that leads into slaying this boss, or slay a number of enemies out in this area. So you will have multiple options per day. These aren't your ordinary WoW dailies where they're just there for a full 24 hours. These will cycle in and out every few hours, and from the sounds of it, they really want you to do them to benefit from the rewards. So speaking of rewards, one of the rewards that you'll get on certain tasks will be the currency called Grim Favors that you can turn in at the Tree of Whispers, and when you acquire 10 of them, you can trade these in for items like maybe legendaries, crafting materials, or even Nightmare Sigils. So this is yet another way we can obtain Nightmare Sigils. I don't think it has been confirmed if we can get them to randomly drop in the open world, but I do know, in fact, you can craft them at the jeweler in town. Now, something worth noting is that in order for you to start participating in the Tree of Whispers system, you have to complete a quest in the main storyline. Now, this makes sense, because in order to unlock Nightmare Dungeon access, you have to complete the entire storyline, be level 50, and complete the Cathedral of Light capstone dungeon to enter World Tier 3. So again, it just makes sense. Now, there is a penalty for unfulfilled whispers that gives me the Dark Brotherhood vibe. If you can accept the whisper and fail to complete it in the allotted time, there will be repercussions. Rod Ferguson said you have to make a deal with the Tree of Whispers, and there's an unfortunate end when you break your contract. The trees hire people to collect for them. It's a bounty system to fulfill these contracts. For the Tree of Whispers, you can level up with these bounties to target certain loot. So while we're on the topic, let's go ahead and talk about Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are going to be for us dungeon dwellers that want to transform the dungeons around the world into a beefed up version. The boss and dungeon will stay the same, but with more challenging monsters that wait inside, with a potential challenge here and there. Something worth noting about Nightmare Dungeons is once it's transformed, it will roll additional affixes and powers. These could sort of be compared to how mapping works in Path of Exile. Joe Shelley said that we will be getting a lot of keys, and some will be less suited to our playstyle, and we don't have to do all of them. We will have choices. We do not know if every dungeon will be eligible to roll into Nightmare Dungeons, as some dungeons are unlocked via stronghold completions and quest progressions, and there are 150 dungeons in the game after all, which this is something really interesting. Something we weren't seeing in the beta, so honestly we don't know if this idea was even scrapped or not. Rod Ferguson said last year in a Q&A that dungeons could be biased towards helmets, which is great if I'm looking for a particular legendary helmet. There are certain dungeons you can go to target what type of loot you're after. This change allows me agency as a player to say what's weak about my build and find which dungeon is, say, dropping gloves. So what they say and what it sounds like, and this is purely speculation, maybe on the Nightmare Sigils themselves we will see an additional affix that says that it only drops gloves, or has a higher chance to drop weapons. Again, these are examples and nothing that has been confirmed through the beta, but in an older Q&A. This is also similar to the system Last Epoch uses in their Monolith endgame system. The difference being that in Last Epoch, your reward chest for your overall completion drops said items. So Helltides are the third endgame system. Helltides will be something that you randomly stumble across in the open world, and it will be region-wide events that becomes available to people in World Tier 3. As stated earlier, this is something that is unlocked after hitting level 50, completing the campaign, and finishing the Cathedral of Light capstone dungeon. So it says here, Helltides empower the servants of Lilith, increasing their difficulty but dropping loot worthy of the danger. Her mightiest of minions are also out in greater force, and the very ground of Sanctuary, as you know it, has been morphed by the surge in demonic activity. So as we kill mobs, they will have a chance to drop cinders, a form of currency that can be spent to open Helltide chests scattered across the region. These chests do also, like nightmare dungeons, target specific loot. So some be chest pieces, some may be helmets, and others may have weapons. Now, something similar to the PvP system, Shards of Hatred, if you die, you lose your cinders and they have to be reclaimed. So I guess what they're saying, people, is just don't die. It's that easy. So as we all seen in the beta test, Renown plays a pretty decent part in Endgame. Our traditional leveling experience will stop at level 50, and then we move on to Paragon leveling. We will have 50 points to put in our talent tree and over 200 to put in our Paragon points, and that's just base. Let's not forget that we will be gaining additional skill points and Paragon points through our Renown in each zone. Now tell me, did any of you wonder why creating an alt in the beta you started with gave you 2 skill points you could allocate right away? That's because on your first character you claimed your Renown 1 and 3 bonuses, and they granted an additional skill point along with your XP and gold. So participating in world events, doing side quests, and getting the Renown up in each zone will be pretty important when you're looking to min-max and complete your character. Now moving on to Paragon while we are on the topic. So the way Paragon boards are going to work is we will have a starting board. In these boards we will have to make it to the gateway. Upon reaching that gateway, we can choose another Paragon board towards anywhere we want to go, depending on class. And the real interesting part here is we can also choose where we want to start on said board, because we will have the option to rotate the boards to align with our gateways. Now I understand, explaining it and hearing it out loud, it is kind of confusing, but trust me, it won't be that confusing when we have it in front of us seeing it for the first time. Now each level will convert into 4 Paragon points. Your generic tiles will have core stats. We have no idea what the modifier will be on release, but from these earlier images, they will start at +5 to a stat. Then you have your magic tiles that give, for example, resistances like shown here. From here you can probably guess, yes, we will be getting those rare tiles on each board, and we'll also have legendary. Each board will have 1 to 3 legendary tiles that you can reach. The rare tiles are worth noting, and I'm curious to know if this will stick, but if you look, it actually has 2 lines. One grants 10 fury per kill, but in order to benefit from the 8% increased max fury, you need 175 strength and 125 willpower. Now I think this is really cool and limits builds from breaking over that 9,000 power level mark.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
That we hated oh so much in Diablo 3, like critting for 500 trillion damage. Legendary tiles will be a massive boost, not only to damage, but some will be for utility and defensives as well. So with all these tidbits of information, I do want to remind everyone that all of this information is old and some of it may stick, but there are 100% some things that will change for release. And we do have a dev stream confirmed for sometime in April, according to Pez via Twitter. So hopefully things will be confirmed. If they are sticking, if they're true, maybe we'll get some detailed information on what's to come and what will change, and things maybe we just aren't aware of yet. Now, what do you think of these endgame activities? What do you want to see more of? What would you like to see implemented that will help the endgame grind? Comment down below your thoughts, and until next time, amigos, have fun, and soon enough we'll actually be in Sanctuary and get to play for full release.
Launch is just the beginning. One of the things we're really focused on is creating a living, breathing set of updates for players to engage with after the game has gone live.
It's really just going to be a way to keep coming back and experiencing more Diablo 4 in fresh ways.
We're really eager to hear all of your experiences and just enjoy the entire story with you all.